Do I play as Horde Alliance, or do you tend to focus on one faction? While I, from a story standpoint, I look at the perspective of both sides to understand this, to understand and appreciate the story as on a greater whole. But as far as faction goes, I am a Horde. I am a Horde. I've been Horde since Burning Crusade, since I made my Forsaken Rogue back in the day, and I will be Horde to the day I die. So, that is just my personal preference. Nothing against the Alliance. I just, and nothing against Alliance players at all. I like the aesthetic of the, Horde. I like that they're just like this mixed match of races that doesn't exactly like follow the traditional tropes of like fantasy and RPG worlds, you know, because like, you know, with the Alliance, you know, again, not to knock anybody, but you know, with the Alliance, you know, it's very much like stuff that you see in traditional fantasy, and some people dig that stuff. And what I mean by that is, you know, humans, dwarves, elves, you know, and gnomes, which are like, you know, back in the day, those were the four. So, you know, that's kind of the traditional trope as far as like the heroic race that you would see in most fantasy things, you know, like, you know, it very much alludes to, you know, like Lord of the Rings, you know, like, you know, humans, elves, dwarves, gnomes, you know, or hobbits. But, you know, it very much alludes to that, and some people love the traditional trope. And then you have, you know, the Horde, which are orcs, and, hey, Galleon, how you doing, buddy? Which are orcs, and trolls, and tauren, which are the, you know, giant bull creatures, and then undead, you know? But, you know, so very much, you know, a mixed match. Why am I going back to Suramar? I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. But, you know, I love the mixed match. You know, they're very much a mixed bag, a cornucopia, if you will, of races pulled together. You know, some of them out of convenience, some of them out of just kind of, you know, understanding of certain things, but they're not like, you know, this traditional trope that the Alliance has. And I love that. And it made it even further, you know, by when the Horde got their own race with the Blood Elves. But, you know, they weren't like these goody two-shoe elves either. Not saying that Night Elves are goody two-shoe, but they are more of the traditional elves you would see, you know. And Blood Elves are in a sense too, but they're very much an elvish race. They're an elvish race that have done terrible things, you know. They didn't exactly. The Blood Elves aren't exactly an innocent race here, and you know, each race kind of has their dark history at certain points. But I think that's something a lot of people really like about the Horde a lot more. Is one, their rustic, you know, warrior backgrounds, you know, especially with the orcs and the trolls and the tauren. You know, very traditional, savage-type warriors, you know, very Conan the Barbarian type stuff. And then with the Blood Elves, you know, the Blood Elves did terrible things. The Forsaken come from a terrible place. You know, the tauren are probably the nicest, race out of the entire Horde, you know, next to the Pandaren. But, you know, the Trolls, you know, God, you want to talk about a mixed-matched history there. You know, as far as a race goes, man, the freaking Trolls, dude. Talk about a bloody history. And then, of course, the Orcs, you know, one of the bloodiest histories out of everybody. You know, and then you add it in further with the scummy goblins. And then, you know, the split with the Pandaren. It's like, yeah, it's kind of okay, you know. With the Pandaren, you got to kind of take it for what it is. You know, and now you add the Nightborn, which are a more of a high-class elf race. You know, way higher classier than Blood Elves, in my opinion. But, and then, you know, you also add, you know, High Mountain Tauren, which are an offshoot of the regular Tauren. So I think that's why a lot of people really love... Get the hell off me, you damn bear!